I would argue in the happiest relationships, it's a traditionally masculine role in which the man plays and provides. The female is traditionally feminine. The man is the head of the house, not in an abusive way, doesn't beat her up. I'm talking about the man being the head of the household, like I would like to believe you're the head of your household. And he comes along and says what happens and what doesn't happen because he's the man of the house.
No, that's not want them to feel that.
Don't you want them to become very rich and successful and have a woman who relies on them and have a beautiful family?
No, but I don't want a woman who's subservient to them.
Why is subservience? Why is a
literally
woman
the tone of the tweet I read is subservient? You did another tweet this week. Men love by telling you what to do and not allowing you to make stupid decisions. We
Facts.
see you from the female inclination to make stupid choices.
That's some real shit though.
Give you instructions. He doesn't love you. If you won't listen
That's
to
real.
man's instructions, you don't love him. The whole language is so ridiculous.
Let me change the language then.
Well, you tweeted this to 8.2 million people.
Correct. So let me say this. A father loves. Let's say instead of a man loves, say a father loves. A father loves disciplinary. That's how a father will love you. A mother will say, oh, I hope you're happy, hope you're doing okay. But a father will come along and say, no, don't do this. You must do it that way. That's incorrect. It has to be this way. A father will discipline you because a father feels he knows best for you. It's the masculine essence of love. When a man loves, he shows that he cares by a degree.
There is a massive difference between a relationship between a father and a child and between a man and a woman in a relationship.
Completely.
And I'm not sure you quite get
No,
that.
there is a difference. But I would argue, Piers, I would argue in the happiest relationships, it's a traditionally masculine role in which the man plays and provides. The female is traditionally feminine. The man is the head of the house, not in an abusive way, doesn't beat her up. I'm talking about the man being the head of the household, like I would like to believe you're the head of your household. And he comes along and says what happens and what doesn't happen because he's the man of the house.
No, that's not.
That's
actually not how most households operate now.
Well, then it sounds like we understand how the entire world's a mess. Because only 10 years ago, that's exactly how the households were operating. There was a man of the house, and now we have no longer defined roles. There's no more longer a man of the house. You want to talk about knife crime, kids doing drugs, the crime rate, all of these problems. You want to talk about all of the societal ills we face. Perhaps it's because we don't have any men in the house anymore. Perhaps we need to bring the man of the house back. And the man of the house will come along and be a disciplinarian and make the set rules and the creeds of that house.
That's true.
In this household, we don't take drugs. That stands for the woman I am with, the children who we have birthed. Nobody takes drugs in this household because this is my house and I'm the man of the house. So it sounds to me like we need to bring it back, sir.
Real talk.
It's all good macho stuff, okay? And I know lots of young boys who listen to this and go, wow, that's how I should be. And I read the detail of your tweets. And again, come back to this. We save women from their female inclination to make stupid choices.
Females are emotional.
If a man isn't giving you instructions,
now, females are emotional.
Hang on.
Here's,
he doesn't love you. All this stuff is designed to, exactly as you've just articulated, is designed to make young men feel that the only way they can be successful in life is to effectively have their women under control, give them instructions, and they have to obey.
Don't buy women Prada, you'll end up in jail.
You can buy them Prada, but let me finish my point. My point is that it seems to me, from reading your tweets, even now, that you have a blind spot when it comes to how they sound. And it may be that the legal problems that you're in, which might be extremely serious, and we'll see when the trial happens, but it may be that in your head, nothing you've done is remotely inappropriate, because actually in your tweets you can see there's an element there of wanting coercion and control. You want to control women. You want them to be effectively your servants, slaves, for want of a better phrase.
Slaves who get Prada and get to work out in the gym and get to look good.
But you understand the point I'm making?
No, I don't.
Right.
In your head, the line is blurred so much now with this macho rhetoric that you've actually lost track of how this sounds.
All of the things
Even when I read that stuff to you, I could see you looking at me, and you said, your answer is, I was being sarcastic. And I said, well, where? Then you go, well, no, I meant it. Well, it can't be both.
I meant it, and I said,
you either mean it, or it's, well, no, because sarcasm means you don't mean it.
Piers, all the things you've just described.
Do you accept that?
No,
You're a smart guy. You know what sarcasm means,
absolutely.
Right?
I said I had a sarcastic tone for comedic effect. All the things I'm saying and the things I've said are basically the way the entire world thought only 10 years ago. You may buy into the psyop, you may buy into the new thing.
I don't buy into any psyops.
We just talked about the vaccine, sir.
Yeah, the vaccines weren't psyops.
Of course not. No. So I believe that there should be a man of the house.
You had a polio vaccine, right?
Correct.
Why?
Because I didn't get polio. I wouldn't have a COVID vaccine, so I'd still get COVID. Plus, probably myocarditis and have a heart attack. So...
Do
house 10 years ago.
Do you think statistically more people got myocarditis by having the vaccine or not having it?
I think statistically we need.
You don't know, do you?
Why would I know? Why would I look at the statistics?
Why would you bother? Why would you
come from the matrix itself?
So the matrix. So every fact you don't like, because it doesn't suit your agenda, you just dismiss as matrix bullshit.
That's a good question.
Very simple way I view the world. COVID can't hurt me, so why would I take their injection?
You don't have to.
Point two.
You don't have to
They
take
tried
it.
to make us, including you.
Yeah.
You told people they
You know
should
why?
have the vaccine.
You know why?
If they don't have it, they shouldn't leave their house.
You know why? Because at the time, the scientists, and by the way, scientists is ever evolving. At the time I said that, the scientists said if you had the vaccine, it would prevent you transmitting the virus.
The matrix.
That turned out to be wrong, and they issued updated advice saying further studies said that actually you could transmit it. And at that point, you know what I did, which you never do? I held my hands up and went, I was wrong because the advice changed, and now I would not say the same thing. That is called actually evolving opinions when facts change. That's actually how a civilized democracy works.
We live in a civilized democracy, sir. Actually, would argue that point with you for a very long time. I don't think we live in a civilized democracy. Another point I want to make here: if I had cancer, or if I was at threat of a genuine disease which could actually harm me, would the NHS text me 10 times a day, try and give me treatment, or would I be sitting there waiting for 8 months to get an appointment? They wouldn't care about me, and they'd let me die. So the fact that they will endlessly text me and try and beg me to get this poison should be an alarm bell for anybody with a brain.
Actually, they sent me. I'm a 58-year-old man. In the last few months, they sent me one about a flu jab, which I'm going to have. So it stops you getting flu, and flu's nasty. A COVID booster, which I won't have. I think I've had enough of those. I'm fine with that, thanks. They sent me one about having a check for bowel cancer, which I've done, and came back negative, and so on and so on. The NHS texting system is for our benefit. You don't have to do it. No one's holding a gun to your head. The Matrix isn't saying, if you don't have this, Andrew Tate, we're gonna do something to you. You've not been treated in Romania by their system because of anything to do with COVID vaccines. And your attempt to try and persuade people that that's the case is ridiculous. And you know it's ridiculous.
Do you have any idea how difficult it was to remain unvaccinated, Piers? Let me tell you.
It was hard.
Vaccinated and traveled the world. Do you have any idea how?
Oh, my God.
Countries had border control.
No, because they tried to force everybody. So the citizens tried to force. You know what they did? They said, come get the COVID vaccine. It's good for you. It's going to help. They tried to coerce you by being nice. They tried to lover boy everybody. They tried to use the lover boy method to force people to get the COVID vaccine. It just came to the... We need to put all these people in jail. They were being nice to people, trying to help them. Unbelievable.
Nobody forced you to have it. Did you have the vaccine?
Absolutely not, really not, sir. My principles are not for sale. I would have stayed in my house to the end of human time and sat there as a pureblood, the last one, the last pureblood on the planet before I inject myself with poison.
You're not making an MGM trailer.
Yes, I am, because it's a matter of principle. I am not a farm animal. My blood is mine. It does not belong to the government, and I decide what is in it.
Right. All right, so you have a polio vaccine, but not
correct.
So your brilliant brain has determined that you know more about the medicinal and scientific benefits of individual vaccines. And the polio one, you decided with your brilliant brain, well, have that. But even though a lot of people, by the way, have had side effects to polio vaccine, did you know that?
Yes, correct.
Is that the Matrix doing that?
No, I didn't say the Matrix gave them the side effect.
Oh.
I just told you all the reasons I didn't get the vaccine.
Right.
I already described it at length.
But you work out with your brilliant mind which vaccines to have.
Correct.
Okay. Correct. You realise
You
that?
can join my email list on corporatate.com. You can sign up for free, and I'll tell you which vaccines
I wouldn't come to you for vaccine advice.
Why,
Andrew? You have zero experience.
I didn't get
any advice.
I obviously did pretty good. I avoided the poison shot while everyone else got it, so I'm actually pretty proud of my track record.
What happens if you're found guilty of the things you're charged with?
Well, then I'm going to have to go to jail, I assume.
What's the maximum sentence you could get?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I actually genuinely don't know.
You've never asked your lawyers?
It can be between 3 to 8 years,
Right,
I think.
so you do know.
I don't know the maximum.
But if you were to serve 8 years, having served 3 months and know how bad that was, could you cope with that in a Romanian jail?
Interesting question. Could I cope with it? Yes. Would I be the same afterwards? I'm not sure.
What do you think even the 3 months did to you as a man?
Well, it was a fantastic test from God to make sure I am the man I say I am. Because I think there's a lot of people who speak about masculine excellence who are not the men they say they are. When trouble appears, you often learn that they are nothing but postures.
I love.
I had nightmares for a very long time. I couldn't sleep. I struggled with certain things. bed sheets every single night for cockroaches religiously. I had a problem with that. But I never turned to therapy. I never turned to drugs. I understood that all of these things are from God and they're given to me so that I can become a stronger version of myself.
That's facts.
I welcomed them all and I embraced them all. And now that I'm a better, not completely, but almost better, part of me actually misses my nightmares. Part of me misses training all night. I didn't sleep for weeks.
You said you didn't have nightmares.
No, I had nightmares. I said I didn't have nightmares in jail. When I left, I did. And I kind of miss it because I had so much time in the day to get things done. And now I'm sleeping a full 6 hours. I feel a little bit lazy. So perhaps I need another test from God. And if God decides, Allah is the best of planners, if he decides I need 8 years in jail, then I will embrace those 8 years in jail and do my absolute best to come out as the most formidable version of myself.
Have you felt suicidal at all in the last year?
I don't believe in suicide. It's haram.
I know, you said that before, but did you feel like you may want to end it all?
I would never kill myself under any circumstances. So the day they put that on the news when they finally take me out, you could know it's a lie. It's haram. I would never kill myself. Lock me in that cell for the rest of my life. I would never kill myself.
While you're under house arrest, you tweeted this: avoid women who go to festivals. They're either on some loser's table who's feeding them cocaine or in a crowd of sweaty peasants because they're a sweaty peasant. Endless Instagram stories screaming and having fun to prove to the world they're worthless. Hard pass festive hoes.
Correct. I tweeted that, yes.
Again, why would you categorize all women who go to festivals in such an unpleasant way?
I actually categorized all men who went to festivals also. Did you read that tweet? I think all people who go to festivals are stupid. It is peasantry. I've never been to a festival in my life. I'm not going to stand there and scream and jump up and down for some other human like he's God. I think it's embarrassing, all of it from head to toe. It's all sweaty peasantry and it's all just drug-fueled insanity. So why are you gendering the argument when I insult the women who go to festivals and also the men who go to festivals, because all of it is peasantry head to toe, and I do not regret it. All festivals are peasantry. Anybody who goes, I do not associate with. I've never been to one in my life. I never will.
So you've never been to one. How do you know what they're like?
I can see enough. I've seen the sweaty bodies bumping into each
never
other,
been to
high on ketamine, pretending that the song they heard on the radio at home is now more fantastic because they're listening to it from a loudspeaker.
Okay,
It's embarrassing.
To be clear, you've never been to one.
Correct. My infinite brain that understands vaccines perfectly
we've
also
established
understands.
we have established your brain is unique.
Correct.
You tweeted a picture of Amanda Holden, very good friend of mine. It's a very harmless picture. She's in a bikini on holiday under a rain shower, looking extraordinarily beautiful.
In a sexual pose.
And you tweeted, you are a wife and a mother and you're far past a teenager. There's no need for this post.
Agreed.
Again, it's just misogynist to say that.
It's not misogynistic.
Why can't a woman of her age, she's just turned 50, why can't a woman of that age actually show off her beautiful body in a nice bikini like that? What's wrong with that?
You can call me crazy. You can call me misogynistic, but I think once you reach the right age of 50, any woman should not be interested in thirst trapping on Instagram. I think she has
That's real talk.
responsibilities. I'm sure she's a very intelligent lady, and she's done amazing things. She's famous. She's obviously very capable, and I think she could do things more interesting than standing around trying to thirst trap on Instagram when she's 18. And I think she's above it. I wasn't insulting her. I was reminding her that she's actually such a fantastic person. She's done such amazing things in her life, and she's so achieved that she's actually above thirst trapping. I was reminding her of her worth because as a feminist, we're all feminists here, right? We all believe in women empowerment. I'm reminding her of her worth.
Are you a feminist?
Sure.
You're not, though, are you?
I believe in feminine empowerment, and I think feminine empowerment is in... Yes, I do. And feminine empowerment is in modesty. Modesty is empowering for females.
You only believe in
taking your clothes off for men on Instagram is not empowering. It's empowering when you say, no man but my husband can see my body. That is female empowerment. And I was reminding her of that. I was reminding her of her ripe age and her intellect. And there is no need for that.
How old are you now?
I am 36.
36 years old.
Correct.
At what point will your antics, chugging your cigars and your ripped body in your compound with your security and your Bugattis, at what age does that become a thirst trap?
I don't know if that ever stops being a thirst trap.
So it's fine for you. Once again, one rule for the man, another rule for the woman.
That's interesting because I've never heard this argument before, but I'm extremely intelligent. I've already deciphered how this is going to go from head to toe. It's called, I guess we can look at peacocks, right? The male peacock shows, look who I am. Listen, look what I can do. Look at my achievement. Look at my beautiful feathers. And I guess you could call it peacocking to a degree. I'm showing the world I'm extremely physically capable. Yes, that's correct. I'm extremely financially successful.
You stripping off for Instagram is fine.
It's not stripping off for Instagram. I'm boxing. You box. You
do it all the time with your cigar and you're showing off your ripped body. That's fine for you. But if Amanda Holden dares do it, That is apparently thirst trapping.
I think me boxing with no shirt on is different than a 50-year-old woman posting.
You don't just box. I've seen you doing ones where you wander around all moody with your cigar and you're topless and stuff. So fine for you.
Are you a fan, Piers?
No, I just think it's thirst trap.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't do that.
perhaps it's successful. Maybe you should start. But perhaps it's successful because I do have a lot of female fans out there in the world.
Mhm.
I'm a misogynist, but it turns out that 85% of women on the planet seem to agree with me. Every single woman I've ever met in real life agrees with me. I have no female hate at all. I've never had negative interaction with women ever.
Yes, you have.
With who?
Well, what about the BBC journalist that came to your compound?
Lucy.
Yes.
I've never
I
had
don't
a
think
negative
she-
interaction with a female.
I don't
ever.
think she was a fan.
I think she
I
was.
would categorise that as a negative interaction.
Well, she seemed to follow me around for a long time. I think she was a little bit.
There are lots
obsessed.
of women, Andrew. There are lots of women I know personally. There are lots of women who find you incredibly offensive.
I don't think so.
Right? It's their right to. It's your
Of
right
course,
to.
of course.
It's your right to not care.
Yeah.
But the idea that somehow you're this beloved person for the world's females, I think is not true. You are for a certain type of woman who likes to be treated in the way that you like to treat women.
Well, let's counter that argument, right? Because the world, as I said at the beginning, is nuanced. Am I beloved by all females? No. But when I'm sat here with someone as prestiged as you, who says you're a misogynist and you hate women and women hate
I think
you.
you talk in a way that is misogynistic. Yeah.
Okay, well then you make it sound like all women hate me, and that's also not the case. Of course, it's a nuanced
I didn't
argument.
say all women hate it.
Some women agree with me. Some women don't agree with me. When I said that post about Amanda Holden, a lot of women said, Andrew, that's actually completely correct. She's extremely famous, and there's no need for her to be posting video pictures like this at her ripe age. I was actually empowering her. I believe that female empowerment is in modesty.
You don't actually believe in feminism.
I believe in the idea of...
You believe in masculinity controlling women.
No.
They have to take instructions from you. They have to do what you tell them. And that is actually what love and relationships are about.
No, I believe that men and women have different roles. I believe that we were created differently by God because we are the perfect team. I believe that a man who's in his masculine frame is best suited by a woman who's in her feminine frame. I believe when we work together, we can achieve amazing things, whether it's raising children or preserving society. And I believe a man has certain jobs and a woman has certain jobs. You don't understand this about the things I say. When I said that women make bad decisions in the tweet you referenced earlier, the point I was making is that women are more emotional than men. That is their superpower. That is fantastic. That is a great thing. I love female emotionality. In the tweet before you tried to use it against me, I was talking about how I love a woman to be happy all the time, smiling all the time while I'm stressed. I love female emotionality. The reason women are better with children, is because they're emotional. That is their superpower.
That's not what your tweet said.
In a position...
You're not even remembering what you wrote.
Of course it is. I said women are more emotional than men. It's exactly what I said. I'm saying that is a fantastic thing. But there is no light without dark. So in certain situations, the emotionality is positive. In certain situations, the emotionality is negative. We can also argue the same for men. Because what happens with me is everyone tries to gender my arguments. We can actually argue the same with men. Stoicism. Male stoicism is positive in certain scenarios. It can be negative in others. We can come across as unempathetic or not care because we're stoic.
I know
but in certain situations, it benefits.
I know people who've told me that their kids who are in their late teens, they're at schools where the name Andrew Tate is banned. Nobody's allowed to mention your name because the teachers think that your brand of masculinity is so toxic.
So you got to realize the teachers are women. The teachers are women who can't acquire Andrew Tate. The teachers are women who don't want to raise the boys to be something that they can't control, because he speaks out about this in detail about how the boys really can't be controlled. So they put these bad labels on them to make them, censor themselves.
They are seeing a immediate effect on the way that young men behave, and not in a good way.
Is that what the teachers think? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I am actually genuinely concerned by the fact that I've been banned from schools when I do nothing but preach masculine strength and excellence. But then if you actually understand how the society is going, how the world works, and all the insanity they're trying to push on all of us, I can understand why they banned me, because I speak the truth. If I was wearing a wig, Piers, and lipstick, and telling young boys to remove their genitals, would I have been banned from school?
Nope.
No.
No.
You can say his name, no problem. No matter how big I got, if I had a wig on and lipstick and I had been castrated medically, I would be allowed to talk to the young boys. But as soon as I say you're supposed to grow up and get big and strong, and if your wife doesn't want a job, you need to pay for her, it's your job as a man, you better find some money, then I'm public enemy number one. Garbage.
On that last point, you don't say if a woman doesn't want
He didn't talk about anything but the part that he could pick apart. Let's just pay attention to that.
to work, a man to take care of it. You say a woman shouldn't work.
I said my woman won't work.
Right.
I'm talking about my personal experience. I said a girlfriend of mine, because I'm an extremely fortunate financial position. I was before Romania took everything, of course. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. So because I am in my position, I would not want my woman to work. I think there's more important things she can do.
If you have hundreds of millions of dollars, where you said you had a worth of 17 million.
No, I said they took 17 million.
So where's the rest?
They must have taken it. I think they have it. Or maybe I lost it. I think I lost it somewhere.
You've never had hundreds of millions of dollars.
Of course not.
Yeah,
Of course not.
you said they took all your assets.
Exactly.
Well, did they or didn't they?
Of course, they took everything.
Well, they'll be watching this. Are they to assume that there are hundreds of millions more dollars they haven't got?
No, they're watching this. That's right. They take absolutely everything. You have it all.
Fine.
Mm.
Is that all just the top G stuff that you play up to, which has no bearing on reality?
I was the most Googled man on the planet. I was the most relevant man amongst 18 to 35-year-old males, which are the highest earning and spending people on the planet. Do you really think that I can't pay my bills, Piers?
Real talk.
Someone's paying them for you.
Correct, you're right. Someone's paying them for me, right? My girl's got a job. She works at Starbucks. Exclusive, Andrew Tate girl, top G's girl works at Starbucks to pay the rent.